Hi everybody, it's Kara. I am back today with the fourth and final video for my little series on how I make my charm bracelets. In the first video, we went over all the supplies that I gather, the tools that I use, basically how I kind of prep to get ready to make the charm bracelet. In the second video, I believe we talked about how I place my charms, and also I think reviewed how I use jump rings and split rings. And then in the third video, I showed you guys how I put the beads on the head pins, how I get all those prepped and ready to go. And I think in the third video I had mentioned that I would save a button or bead or something like that for us to put on the charm bracelet together. And I have to tell you, I didn't do that. I got a little excited because I wanted to get it done, and thought I was going to add one or two last little things, and kind of got to that spot in the project where I thought that it looked right and I didn't want to add any more. So I wanted to share the charm bracelet with you, and also kind of show you, the finished product, and show you another one that I made. So you get to see, a couple different versions of charm bracelets, because obviously there's a million and one ways you can make them. But I wanted to show you some of the final products. So here is the one that we started together, all done, with everything attached. And it's nice and chunky with all sorts of goodness on it, just like I had hoped. You can see I went back in and I added lots and lots of really pretty purple beads. I went back through and I added several buttons, all of which are vintage except for this one. These two and these two right here are glass, and I absolutely love them. I love all buttons, as you guys know if you've been watching my video, but I just think the vintage ones, especially these glass ones, are just, oh, and here's another little one right here, this little flower. Anyway, I just think these little vintage buttons are just, I don't know, a really nice special touch to put on a project. To me, the history of them just adds a little something extra. So anyway, there's all those little buttons, and you can see some of the big beads that I incorporated in there. The charms are still in there, but that's the finished product. And I do want to tell you guys something. I showed you this chain. This is the, basically it has 2 rows of chain, and so you have, let me show you. I'm going to do a horrible drawing, but just so you guys are aware, I had 2 rows of chain. I'm sorry, I'm doing a little quick sketch so you can kind of see it. I had the 2 rows of chain like that, and then they were connected, obviously a little nicer than what I'm doing, but they were connected with more chain this way. So I had said something about how I like to count out all my links to evenly space all of the things I put on the charm bracelet. So these, having 2 rows and then more links in between, made it extremely difficult for my little OCD brain to do. I still think I did it. I think it looks pretty balanced, and everything seems to be pretty well spaced out for me. But just be aware, if you use any of that chain, that you have to deal with a lot more links if you have my kind of brain. Okay, I hope that made sense. So anyway, here's that bracelet that we started with. You can see all of its beads and buttons and charms and all that good stuff. That's one. Let me just move this up a little bit. Here's the second one I made, which is completely different. Different colors, different styles, everything, and I love it. It's gorgeous, I think. It has a very vintage theme to it, for a completely different person. And you can see again, I used a lot of vintage buttons. There's a little bit vintage one right there. This one's vintage. This one's vintage, as is this one, and this one, this one. And then the rest that I put on here are geared to look very vintage. I put on some really cool charms that I've shown you guys, and added the beads, and then I also added a couple little pieces of vintage lace because this particular lady loves all things vintage. So I'm hoping that she will like this bracelet that I made for her. But anyway, that's another option. I just kind of wanted to show you guys that these bracelets are a ton of fun, and you can do so many things with them, and they're really, really easy. You just have to try it. And there's a ton of other videos out there. I'm sure some that will do a much better job on showing you how to use a split ring or a jump ring or a head pin or whatever. But I just wanted you guys to know that even as a beginner, you can do one of these charm bracelets. They're not difficult. You just need a few simple tools, a few supplies, and some time. And of all the crafty things I do, outside of the double rows of chain, I enjoy doing these bracelets probably almost the best thing I do, just because they don't typically take that long. You know, once you get started and you get moving, they keep going. So I had a lot of fun with this. I hope you enjoyed the series. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below, or you can message me directly. I'll be happy to get back to you and try and help if you need any help. And as always, thanks so much for watching the videos, and I hope that you are having some crafty fun wherever you're at. Bye.